Bring it back.
Hi guys, what's going on? I'm Evolos and today we are back with another episode of Total War Arena. So we are now up to the tier 5 Barbarian Cavalry. These are the mounted warband. So the first time we've moved away from sort of the spear-armed cavalry onto the sword-armed cavalry. Although I think this is sort of a brief travel away from that because the next unit, the Gungnir Chargers, are back to the spear cavalry. And that's sort of the general trend in the Barbarian Cavalry, they're almost always spear cavalry. But we've got these guys. I have made a start, I've been playing them a little bit. Just got enough research points to get the next helmet, but they are not yet fully upgraded. I've still got a fair bit to go to get the better armour, the quicker trousers, which increases speed, shield and the increased weaponry, before I can advance onto tier 6. So let's take a quick look at their stats. The main thing for me, which makes me really enjoy playing the Barbarian Cavalry, is the speed, and that speed has been kept up in this unit from the previous one. They've still got that movement speed of 8. They're particularly once I get the trousers, which give them a plus 5% movement bonus, they really are still the quickest cavalry unit in the game, or quickest cavalry branch compared to the Greek and the Roman cavalry, and that just gives them that flexibility of playstyle that no other units give. You know, if I want to engage the Roman cavalry, I can, and if I don't, I can avoid them. And yet, you know, Roman cavalry has no choice. If I'm engaging them, I can catch them, engage them on my own terms, and that's what I find particularly enjoyable. I've also, having now just got to tier 5, I've unlocked the infiltration perk on Arminius, so that allows me to turn my infantry blue to the enemy, basically, to make my cavalry look like a friendly player to the enemy. So you may have fallen foul to this yourself if you're in a game, you know, you're playing as your archers, or you're in a phalanx and all of a sudden friendly cavalry charge into the back of you. That's because Barbarian Cavalry can use this infiltration disguise. So without further ado, let's hop into a game and I shall see you in battle. So we are just loading in on the Alps map. We're top tier, pretty much everyone else is tier 5 with just a couple of tier 4s. I normally like to deploy there. So we'll take this position on the far flank. I don't really like starting off in the low road in the centre because I feel you're sort of a bit vulnerable and not got that much choice. I like to have a bit of a scout round first, and my speed allows me to swap around the map as needed pretty quickly anyway. There's a fair few artillery on our team, but not very many archers. As a general rule, I find if there's a good amount of artillery on your team, then there's artillery on the enemy team. It just seems to be how it works, which is, you know, good, keeps the game balanced. So that's something that's going to be a target for us. You know, we like to be able to find the enemy artillery. I just immediately activated momentum, since if you don't know, this basically gives a permanent speed, turning and charge boost, and it doesn't deactivate unless I stop moving, so there's really no reason to not have it active, and it regenerates very quickly, so, you know, there's no reason just to not have it on. So the enemy are moving in some Hastati very quickly, so we'll just get spots on them, but there's nothing we can really do to them, so I'll just keep clear of them. I'm a little conscious of looking out for cannonballs in the distance, or cannonballs or rocks or anything being hurled at us. If that's the case, I can try and turn around, change course, try and avoid them. We stand a reasonable chance of missing them. So there seems to be really nothing else on this flank bar me, and while I'm not taking on 3 units of Hastati by myself, I don't like to abandon my team by any means. But there's nothing that can be done if no one else is going to be on that flank. So we'll leave them and we'll have a little bit of explore on the other flank or down the centre. So let's have a little look out this way. I'm a little conscious of venturing too far into the grass. So some enemy, so these are Roman cavalry, Celeres. So they're better in hand-to-hand combat than me, but have a worse charge and are slower. So if they took significant damage, like they sort of are doing, and they're on their own, like they are doing, I will certainly charge them. They're activated Wrath of Mars. I'm going to activate Kick, which hasn't really helped me. Okay, I'm going to break off this engagement. It was an error to engage them. We should have the speed, activate momentum again, which we do. So that was a very silly on my part. They managed to use their sort of extra bonus damage to rapidly sort of inflict damage on my units, and I couldn't beat them. I shouldn't have faced them head on. But lesson learnt, and advantage of being the quick barbarians is that, you know, you can break off and break away from such engagements. So I don't want to go down there because these guys are flanking round. If I can catch them where they're in a pre-existing engagement, I will engage them again in the rear, but facing them head on is just not working for me. So these guys look like they're going to try and flank round on the enemy artillery. So again, I still don't want to engage them directly, but if they're going to make such a move, at least cut them off and try and prevent them from getting our artillery, which I think we've done there successfully. See what we can see. So they have engaged the enemy artillery down on the levels, and the Principes have engaged. I don't necessarily want to engage these Solaris, but we were going to have Principe support, so we may as well. Okay, good move. Very effective move. Quickly pop Frenzy, and let's try and get in on the other ones. We'll activate Mount Kick. Let's try and finish off these remaining cavalry here. I thought that guy was trying to bait me into it and he was going to turn on me, but he didn't. So that panned out okay in the end. Just try and kill these remaining guys without taking too much damage. Keep an eye out for anything else charging in. Doesn't look like there is. I don't know why he just has engaged this unit of heavy Roman infantry. That just seems very foolish, really. It's just asking for trouble. We'll activate Mount Kick again. It's definitely one of the best sort of little free unit moves, this Mount Kick. There we go, kill them off. It always does good amounts of damage, and it gives the enemy knockdown, so they don't get so much chance to attack you. Quite a powerful move for just what a simple little move it is. So battle is looking pretty equal at the moment. We're just pipping the lead at the moment. Let's have a look what we've got in front of us. So we've got some units of archers taking fire down there, and our units are heavily engaged in the mountains below. So the enemy artillery is over that side. Can we sneak through this gap? Is my next question. So I'm now going to try and navigate my way through this hole. These enemy archers look mightily exposed. We're taking a little bit of fire, but we're just going to ignore that and come straight for these archers. Activate charge. Activate frenzy, and then just kill what we can, basically. And then I'm going to go for the enemy artillery. So it's sometimes this game I find is very much about picking your fights and trying to outmaneuver people. You know, like then that phalanx tried to move back down to block us from going the archers, but we can use our speed to get round them pretty easily. So all our units have still got momentum. They're sending back units to defend. They're probably going to get there before me, and we don't know. The javelins. Oh, stakes! Stakes! Beware of stakes is lesson number 2. Right, let's see if we can get in before these units arrive as backup. Let's do a quick Mount Kick. And let's get the hell out of here. Come on, units, get away, get away. I'm going to try and get as many out as I can before I can get round these stakes here, you see. Don't want to lose too many cavalry units to the stakes. And let's pull back round to see what else we can see. If those heavy infantry are going to go and engage those infantry down there, we'll have another go. No, they're still not. Those enemy Principes, our friendly Principes, do not want to get engaged. So let's head back down the hill, see if there's anything we can do down here. We could conceivably engage some of these enemy Roman units that are engaged in the lines here, perhaps. No, perhaps not. I can't see there's really a lot I can do to aid that fight. There's still too many these units are still too accessible. If I charge into the back of these enemy units here, these will just come back round and flank on me. So that's not going to really help me at all. So since our base is being captured and the enemy are currently winning, I'm going to get back and see what I can do on that front. One of our units has lost momentum, so let's just reactivate the ability. We'll slowly build back up speed again. We've not got loads of units remaining, but overall perhaps averaging about half our units remaining, just under. So let's get back to see what we can do. So there's some companion cavalry down here. So these are Greek cavalry, so they're dangerous on the charge, but pretty ineffective once into hand to hand. I would have thought they're going to come and charge into the back of this unit of Principes, which if they are, I should be able to take good advantage of that, like they're doing there. See, it's very effective. Now I want to be able to come into the back of the companion cavalry, is what I would like. Activate charge now. They're trying to break away. Activated in frenzy. Problem is the Roman cavalry have broken and routed. So I'm now on my own, and I've got 2 units of Hastati behind me as well. So we're kind of in trouble a little bit now. Let's think about how this is going to go down. The question is, I could now try and break and run, but it looks like their unit of Hastati is pulling away for some reason. So they've got 2 units there, and I'm mostly worried about trying to break this enemy companion cavalry, which we are doing very heavy damage to, which is great. We've got a mount kick back. Let's activate that. There's a reasonable amount of damage. It's a shame these Hastati are here, or I'd be confident of winning. I'm going to hang on this fight a little bit longer, focus the effort sort of on these companion cavalry down here, try and get out of the engagement a little bit. I don't want to be fighting these Roman infantry. Our units are starting to suffer a little bit now. I'm going to break away. Activate charge, try and get my units out of there quickly. So we took quite heavy casualties, but we also dealt out quite a bit of damage for leading the team. The problem is we don't have very many people left. It seems unlikely now. I would have thought that we're going to be able to do enough damage to kill these people, and I doubt our team are going to be able to capture our base. So really my only option is going to be to sort of loiter around, reactivate momentum, until I've got my charge back and see if I can do anything against the enemy units that are in our base. Maybe to give our team the opportunity to capture, something like that. It's unfortunate. I've still 13 seconds till I get my charge back. If they're just going to stay facing that direction, that's fine. But no, they've got the sense to come. At least we can sort of highlight them for our friendly artillery. Which is something. We'll fight this one guy if we can, before he gets a charge off. Activate frenzy. Come on, kill that one man. One hit on him. There we go. Okay. So that unit's in Testudo. I think I can probably break this unit now. With a charge. Let's get nice and close. Activate charge. And it's routed. Brilliant. That's what we wanted. We're just trying to mop up these Roman units without any real casualties. I think we're just going to go for this. We'll activate mount kick as soon as we engage them. Mount kick. Rout. Broken. Excellent. So our base is back secure. So let's get back on the offensive. We are massively down on units now. Let's go and see. Probably our top priority is going to be to protect our siegehongers over here. Although the player is disconnected. Let's see what we can do. The enemy have still got some relatively high strength units, which is my problem. It's going to make it hard to deal with those infantry units. I can try and find the enemy artillery, but I'm just not sure that's necessarily going to be particularly helpful to our team. More just a sort of points grabbing exercise for me, which is not really what I'm trying to do. I can go and try and furnish some assistance to our friendly team, but you know, they've still got a full unit of Hastati. I don't think it's going to do anything. So I'm going to go for their artillery, and then I'm just going to try and provide spots on the enemy units to see if, and then lure them back onto artillery, and maybe our siegehongers can get damage on the enemy units. I suspect the enemy artillery is going to be up in these hills around here somewhere. Whether they still have support, I don't know. Both of the players have got Suthra, so that's one of the players' infantry units down below there. So here's some siege artillery. I'm not going to activate charge because I don't want to charge into the cliffs. We'll activate frenzy and then do a kick. See if we can do much damage to them before. Problem is, these units end up fighting back a little bit, which is not fair. Makes them a little bit harder to kill. I end up taking some damage from them as well. It'd be nice if they routed. Let's just kill them. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, I think they're broken. Mount kick. See, that did like 2,000 or 3,000 damage. Knocked off like almost a quarter of their health in just one little move. So it's always worth activating the mount kick, as long as you're nice and close on the enemy. They've routed and broken. Let's get on the move. Try and get back round. Oh, they just missed. I was unlucky. Or lucky for me. So let's get back on the offensive. See if we can get to these units. They're still firing. It's going to activate my charge. Oh, lost a few units on that cliff edge. Come on, people, get back round. Get them, come on, they're routing. Activate frenzy. And let's have a mount kick while we're here. Try and kill the routing units before their friendly enemy infantry arrive. And then it's a case of seeing if these are silly enough to be lured out of base back towards our siegengers. We're certainly getting a good score. It's just a bit unfortunate that we can't do more damage to activate frenzy. Perhaps I missed frenzy earlier. I meant to activate it, but I don't think I did. So let's kill them. You see, this is what we wanted. Our friendly artillery, which is now available to target their enemy infantry. So I'm just going to hold here for the moment. See if these can get lured up the slope. We're almost out of range of the friendly artillery. So I'm inclined to try and lure these Hastati back down the hill in range. See, come on people, don't engage them. I'm not really in a position to help you. Okay, ran out of time. Well, that was certainly a good game. I certainly played reasonably well, but I think I could have done better if I was sort of able to lend a bit more support to our infantry. A lot of my focus ended up being on targeting the enemy artillery. I think given more time, I would have tried to lure their units back further towards their own artillery. I should have kept a better eye on the time. To try and get damage that way. Right, you know, if I'd faced them head on with my cavalry, I wouldn't have been able to achieve sort of anything at all. But still, a very enjoyable match. I hope it sort of showcases sort of how effective these cavalry could be, particularly the manoeuvrability. You know, we had a particularly bad start with to that game, where I sort of charged in and hit that Roman cavalry and took quite a few losses without really doing very much. You know, it's surprising even with half health units how much damage you can inflict. And you know, while they don't take full infantry units head on, they are perfectly capable of fighting and dealing with sort of small groups of heavy infantry like those Roman units are in our base. And that's really where these units come in as support units. You know, working the enemy around the flanks and taking advantage of sort of battered and smaller units. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I've certainly enjoyed making it. I'm going to play a few more of these. Hopefully I'll soon be up to tier 6 and we'll do another video looking at the tier 6 Barbarian Cavalry. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Thanks guys, and I shall see you on the next one.